What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my top 10 favorite movies of 2003. So, this is part of my top 10 Tuesdays where I do a top 10 list every week, and I'm currently going through a series where I rank my 10 favorite movies of each year since I was born. And this week is the year 2003. So I'm going to go ahead and get going. Coming in at number 10 is Spy Kids 3D Game Over. This is a pretty fun movie. It's easily my least favorite out of the Spy Kids trilogy, but it's one that I always really enjoy and everything. It's a fun movie. The visuals are pretty horrible, but they work for the movie, and everything's going to get set in a PS1 game, and the visuals and stuff look like a PS1 game and everything, but I think it works and everything. The story is pretty fun and everything. I'm not a big gamer, so I didn't have as much fun with this one as I did the first two, but I do feel like this is still a pretty strong third entry and everything. I think Sylvester Stallone was a lot of fun as the villain. I know he gets a lot of hate for this movie, but I personally think he was fun, and all of the returning cast are great. The new characters are likable enough and everything. I just wish that some of the old cast members would have been in this movie more, but for what we got, Spy Kids 3D Game Over is a really good one. So it's number 10, and number 9 is Freaky Friday. This is a really fun remake of the 1970s movie of the same name, this time starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, and they're both absolutely amazing here, especially Jamie Lee Curtis. I just absolutely love her in this movie. She's just absolutely hilarious, and this was a good introduction to her for me, because this was my first Jamie Lee Curtis movie, but I love her in this. And Lindsay Lohan is amazing too. The two of them have great chemistry and work really well off of each other and everything, and I'm looking forward to Freakier Friday because of how good this movie is. So Freaky Friday is number 9, and number 8 is The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. This is a really good conclusion to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I really love this movie. It's got a lot of really good battle sequences. The big final battle is epic and tons of fun and everything. All of the cast are once again spot on, excellent. The score is great. It's got awesome visuals, and just a really good movie. It's one of the best in the trilogy for sure. I debate whether I say this is my favorite of the trilogy, but I really love it. So The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King is number 8, and number 7 is Final Destination 2. This movie is just absolutely amazing. I absolutely love this movie. It's a really fun horror movie and everything, but it's one of those sequels that really takes what made the first one great and really elevates it and everything, and just does more of the same, but adds new rules and stuff and new ways of them trying to figure out how to escape death, which I thought was intriguing and entertaining. And personally, this is possibly my favorite in the franchise. I really debate between this one, the first one, and the third one on which one's my favorite, but I really love this movie and everything. So Final Destination 2 is number 7, and number 6 is Freddy Vs Jason. I absolutely love this movie. It is a really fun and exciting crossover between Freddy and Jason and everything. They get a really awesome, cool fight scene at the end of it. Like the last 30 minutes of the movie is them fighting, and it's just a bloodbath and everything. It's tons of fun and everything, and it's one of those movies that's been one of my favorites ever since I was a kid. This was my introduction to Jason, or not Jason, but Freddy and everything. I hadn't really seen any Freddy movies until I had seen this one, but I was already familiar with Jason already a little bit, but I love this movie. I think it's a really good story, awesome kills, and I think it holds up really well. It's one that I think is just a really fun time, and I never get tired of watching it. So Freddy vs. Jason is number 6, and number 5 is X2. This is a really great sequel to X-Men. I absolutely love this movie. It's actually one of my favorite movies in the franchise, if not my favorite X-Men movie. I just absolutely love it. The cast in here are all amazing. The new ones are once again great. Are great in here. The old ones are once again excellent too. The story is really good. I love the addition of Nightcrawler. He's really cool, although I do wish they could have done a little bit more with him. There's some really cool action scenes in here, especially the Berserker scene with Wolverine in the kitchen and stuff. I love that scene when he's going through the whole manor, but especially that scene in the kitchen is just so cool. But yeah, so X2 is number 5, and number 4 is Kill Bill Volume 1. I really love this movie. Uma Thurman is just such a badass as the bride. She is awesome in here. Quentin Tarantino's directing is great. There's tons and tons of fun action scenes in here, especially the scene where she takes out the whole group of people before she faces off against Lucy Liu. Is just so much fun and everything. And then it leaves you on a really big cliffhanger and stuff, makes you wanting more and everything, and we get the satisfying conclusion a few months later with Kill Bill Volume 2, but this was a really, really good movie. I remember when it first came out, everybody was talking about it, and I didn't see it for a few years and stuff, but it's one that I've always really, really liked ever since I first saw it and everything. I usually watch Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair version, which is both versions put together and everything. I got a special edited version of that, and I watched that version, but I love this movie and everything, and personally I prefer Volume 1 over Volume 2 and everything, although I feel like the story's just not complete without both of them anyway, but I feel like Volume 1 was definitely the better one, especially action-wise and everything. So Kill Bill Volume 1 is number 4, and number 3 is Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. I absolutely love this movie. It's been one of my favorites ever since I first saw it in the theater back in 2003. And this was one of those movies that going in, I was not excited for it. I didn't really have much hype for it. I just mainly went because I was invited to go and everything, and I wanted to have a fun night out and everything. I was like, maybe this movie might be better than it looks and everything. And I'm so glad that I went to see it because it instantly became one of my favorite franchises or films of all time, and would later become one of my favorite franchises, is what I was trying to say. And Johnny Depp, this was my introduction to Johnny Depp, and I couldn't think of a more perfect way to be introduced to him than with Jack Sparrow. He's just absolutely amazing. Everybody's great in their roles and everything. You got Orlando Bloom, Keira Knightley, and Jeffrey Rush all killing it too, especially Jeffrey Rush. He doesn't get enough credit for this franchise, and he's one of the other main reasons why this franchise is good, but all of them are really great in this movie, and the visuals hold up really well, and it's just a really, really great movie. So Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl is number 3. And number 2 is Elf. This is one of my favorite Christmas movies. I absolutely love this movie. Will Ferrell is amazing in here. He's just absolutely hilarious. He brings that holiday cheer that you would expect from a Christmas movie and everything, and from a man raised by elves, he is exactly what you would expect a man raised by elves would be like, and he's just so great in this role, and I absolutely love him in this movie. And I think everybody else is great in here too. James Caan does a really great job playing his dad, and then you got Mary Steenburgen and Daniel Tay as his stepmom and half-brother, and they're both really, really great too. Zooey Deschanel is Buddy's love interest, is Sophie is really, really good too, and Bob Newhart and Ed Asner really round out the cast to give us a really great, well-casted Christmas classic and everything. The minute I saw this movie, I said this is an instant classic, and I stand by it. 21 years later, it's still one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. So Elf is number 2, but my number 1 favorite movie of 2003 is Finding Nemo. I absolutely love this movie. It's easily my favorite Pixar movie. It's one of my favorite animated movies of all time. And just in general, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's just a really, really great story about a father trying to find his son and the adventure he finds along the way. And it's just a really, really good movie. It's one of those Pixar movies that I just absolutely love, and I've talked about this movie ad nauseum. There's not much else I can say about Finding Nemo that I haven't said a million times before, but I absolutely love this movie, and it is easily my favorite movie of 2003. So anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what your favorite movie of 2003 is. If you want, tell me your favorite and least favorite movie of that year. If you want to do your full top 10 favorite movies of that year. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.
Yeah.